Hey everyone, it is time for 50 Shades of Black. Listen, you can't tell, but my hair is soaking wet right now, and obviously I did nothing with the background. There's an Amazon box right there. There's a pair of baby pants hanging over the door right now. But my oldest daughter just had surgery, and I don't have the time to be doing the most right now. So let's take a look at my 50 Shades of Black project pan. As far as my daughter goes, the surgery went great. She is doing wonderful. She's healing up really, really well. This is the second to last update, you guys, and you know how behind I've been. So let's see how I've done since my January update. First, let's talk about how I kind of screwed up last month. I rolled the Huda Beauty Easy Blur foundation into this project last month, not remembering that it was technically rolled into my Throwback 30 project pan and had been since the summer. I'd just forgotten it was in there. So I'm going to be keeping it in Throwback 30 because it's been in that project longer. In that same update for Throwback 30, I rolled the Armani Luminous Silk into that project. You may recognize this as a foundation that I decluttered. After decluttering it, I realized there really wasn't a lot of foundation in it. So I decided, come on, let's just finish it. What I'm going to do, since this was a brand new roll-in for the Throwback 30 project, is we're just going to switch. The Huda is going to stay with Throwback 30 and the Giorgio Armani is going to enter this project. So all of the uses I've had on this for the last couple of weeks, I'm going to be applying to this product in this project. So I don't know, maybe that's cheating. Hey, it's my project pan, okay? Speaking of which, I need to mention that this is a Fantastic Ladies collab project. It was created by Jessica Lee. And the whole point is that we're going to be rolling 50 products, all associated with the color black in some way, into this project. Now, I disappeared from YouTube for a few months at the end of last year, and so I am super behind on this project. Honestly, we're keeping with it just out of curiosity to see how many I can actually get done. Another quick note about the Luminous Silk is that I have been using this by decanting it into this empty cushion compact, and I have been using it from here. So the starting weight for this is going to be both of these combined, and then the end weight, when everything is finished, I'm going to be weighing them again so we can see how much product I actually got through. But obviously the altogether weight is going to be significantly heavier than either one of these containers on its own. Okay, we've got that out of the way. Let's talk about the things I finished. In the interest of time, I am not going to be telling you guys the weights. I'm going to have Editing Rebecca put them up on the screen for you. You may have seen this in my recent empties. This is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Loose Powder, and she is all done. She's all done. I'm so excited to have finished this powder. I used this a total of 24 times in this project. It used to be my favorite. I've since moved on to other things that I prefer, but I'm really glad to have finished that one. Next, I finally finished my Kenra Extra Volume Mousse Extra, the number 17. I used this a total of 27 times in this project, and it is done and rolling out. Next is my Sephora All Day Setting Spray. I used this a total of 38 times in this project, and she is finished. I also finished this box of my Arison lashes in the style Hera. These were lash clusters that came kind of in ribbons. They don't make this style anymore. It used to be my favorite. They stopped making them, like they do all of my favorite lashes. I was kind of hoarding it there for a while, and I decided to finally use them up. I got 7 sets of lashes out of this box during this project, and yeah, it is done. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go give my daughter her meds, and so I don't know. Is the camera in the same spot? I don't know. Details. Oh, we're losing daylight too. Okay, one I have very much been enjoying is this Heroin Make eyeliner. I had this in for 30 uses. I used it 15 times over the last month, bringing it to 32 out of 30 uses in this project. So I've been loving this liner. It is such a nice one. This is a Korean brand. It has a brush tip. The bristles were a little bit of a disaster last time I showed it to you, but I just went in there and snipped off the few little hairs that had kind of been bent backwards, and she's working perfectly now. So I love this eyeliner. She is done and she is rolling out. This is the Ilia Eyebrow Gel. I had it in for 30 uses and I used it for the 30th time today. I kind of slandered this eyebrow gel a little bit the last time I talked about it, so I feel the need to correct that. When I first started using it, I felt like I just wasn't getting a whole lot of product out of there, and so I didn't really feel like it was something I could use on its own through my brows, because I have a medium amount of brow hair, and I feel like in order to get all of the brow hairs coated, I would need to go back in and in and in. I don't know what the deal was. Maybe the top part of the product was a little bit dry when I first started using this or something, but since then it has been performing just fine, and I have been using this as the only brow gel in my brows most days since my last update, and it is doing a great job, so no complaints on this one. This one is done as well. It's not empty, obviously, but I had this Huda Beauty concealer rolled in for 30 uses. At the last update, I had used it 17 of 30 times, and I used it another 20 times before realizing I had already met my goal, so I ended up using it a total of 37 out of 30 times. It is done and rolling out. those are all of my rollouts. Let's look at the other things that I had rolled in this project, and then we're gonna roll in a few more. I know, this is ridiculous. I'm rolling in products 2 months before the finale, but listen, a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. I'm really, really hoping to get at least 68% completion on this project, which is what I managed for the 50 Shades of Brown project pan. So it might be a little unrealistic given how far behind I am on my roll-ins, but we're gonna try. First on the list is the Inky List Caffeine Eye Cream. I honestly thought this would be done by now. It feels empty, but every time I go to get more comes out. So we're still not done with it. So since the last update, I have used this 16 times. If editing Rebecca has done her job, you should see the weights up on the screen right now. All in all, I have used this, 71 times, and I'm still not done. So I am pretty sure that I can get this done in the next couple of months, but honestly, I thought it would be done by now, so who knows. Next, I have my Tresemme texturizing spray. I had this into finish. I rolled it into finish back in July before I realized that I was going to spend several months doing absolute nothing to my hair. So I only use this 3 times since the last update. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I will keep using it, but I do not have high hopes for this one. Next, I have the Makeup by Mario lip liner. This was not in my January update because I kind of lost it over Christmas, which is common for me with lip products, especially ones this tiny. It ended up in the pocket of my luggage because we traveled over Christmas, and I thought I had left it at an Airbnb, but it turns out I did not, and I have used this 14 times since the last update. Something that I don't have here to show you because I did leave it at the Airbnb is my Rimmel Exaggerate black pencil liner. That was something that was rolled into finish. It was down just to a little stub, which is why I think I left it, but I'm not going to be able to complete it because it's in another state and she is not coming back. I was also working on the ABH contour stick. Now I rolled this into complete and I thought that that was doable, but guys, she looks the same as she did last time. I have not been contouring a ton lately, and I only used this 9 times since my update in January. I don't know. I might become the contouring queen here and finish this up by the April finale, but I don't know. I don't think this is one that's going to be contributing to my completion percentage at the end of the project. And honestly, neither is this one. This is the Clinique Black Honey not almost lipstick. This is the lip oil, and I have used this 22 times since the last update, but despite that, you guys, there's half left. I don't think we're getting this one done. Not too sad about it though, because I do love this so much and I will be happy to have it around for a little while longer. Some progress on my Natasha Denona Eye Sculpt palette. This, I have all 5 of these shades rolled in as separate products in this project, and I'm kind of using the black shade to justify it, but the black shade is done. She is rolling out. I got my last 2 uses of the 30 uses I was shooting for, and she is rolling out. For the rest of them, I use this dark brown here. I used that 8 times, bringing it to 28 out of 30 uses, so I only have 2 uses left on this one. Then this mid-tone here, I actually used 9 times, bringing my total usage to like 12, I think. I had only used it 3 times before the last update. Then the second lightest shade here, I used it 7 times, bring my total uses up to 11 out of 30. Then this lightest shade here, I struggled a little bit to use this shade because it is Natasha's new formula that it has a lot less opacity than her mattes usually do, and I don't really use a really light matte for blending out. I use it for highlighting, either on the lid or under the brow, and it's just a little too sheer for that. Still, I managed to use it 7 times for a total of 11 out of 30 uses. So I've only got 2 uses left on the dark brown here. For the rest of them, honestly, it's anybody's guess whether or not I'll be able to finish them before the end of the project. I have 2 NYX Lift and Snatch eyebrow pens. I have 2 of them because they're in different colors. One of them is gray black and the other one is just straight black. I use them for different reasons. I use the black for actually drawing in hairs, and I find the gray black to be a little too sheer for that. So I'm just using it as a kind of a fill-in for the entire brow to create sort of a shadow behind the hairs and give it a slightly fuller look. So I usually use these 2 together. These just keep going and going. I was kind of hoping that I would be done with them by now, but they just keep on providing product. So I'm just going to keep using them as long as they're doing their job. I used the gray black pen 14 times and I used the black pen 12 times. Here's one that I've really struggled to use. This is the Illuminati Duochrome eye pencil in the shade Air. Listen, I just don't think duochrome works as an eyeliner. I think it was a little gimmicky when brands first started doing it. I just don't think it shows up. Unless I was going to do a super thick liner, and even then, I just don't think there's enough duochrome pigment in this to really show up. I tried using it once as more of like a cream shadow on the lid, and it still really didn't wow me. So I keep forgetting to use this because I just don't feel like it does much for me. Still, I managed to use this 8 times since the last update. I don't know if we're going to get it done though, you guys. We still have quite a lot of product left on this one. I'm gonna have to really be on it if I want to finish that one by the end of the project. Next, we have my ABH Dip Brow. Obviously, I don't have this in to finish. I'm never gonna finish this, not for the rest of my life. There is so much product in here, and I use such a tiny amount every time I use it. But I rolled this in for 30 uses. Last update, I had used it 9 of 30 times, and I have used it an additional 5 times. Honestly, I've been really focusing on the brow pens and not pulling this one out as much. I also haven't had a ton of time recently to do my makeup every day, and so this is something that takes me a little bit longer, whereas the brow pens are a little bit quicker. So I've been opting for those more often. Still, I think it is possible for me to get this one done by the end of the project. I'm just gonna have to focus on it a little bit more than I have, and hopefully I'll have the time in the mornings to do that. Next, I have my Huda Beauty lipstick in Interview. This was in for 30 uses. I got distracted by other things, and I've only used this 6 times since my last update. That brings us to 18 out of 30 uses. So even though I've kind of neglected this over the last month, I do think I have a good chance of finishing this by the end of the project. I'm also pretty sure I'm going to be able to finish my NYX lip liner in Moonwalk. This one is in for 30 uses as well. As of the last update, I had used it 13 of 30 times, and I have used it another 13 times since rolling it in. So we only have 4 uses left, and this is right now is my favorite lip liner, so I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that. Then we have the Benefit FanFest mascara. I don't know about this one, you guys. I only used it 8 times over the last month, and I used it 5 times the month before. Out of 30 uses, this is a recent roll in, so I didn't roll it in to finish, thank heavens, because that's not happening. I don't know if I'm gonna get to 30 uses though. I started wearing my little lash extension clusters again, and I'm really enjoying that. I know with this one and the Illuminati liner, I could totally just start doing my makeup differently than I want to right now, just to finish them up, but I don't want to. I don't want to wear things that I don't want to wear just so I can hit a goal. You know what I'm saying? I pan because I love how panning projects can really help me enjoy more of my pretty large collection and remind me to use things that I really love but maybe have overlooked. I don't love the idea of using something just to use it, not because I'm enjoying it. So we may not reach our goal on this one, but I think I'm okay with that. As fun as the projects are, the goal is enjoying my makeup, not the projects themselves. Then I have this MAC Powder Kiss in the shade It's Personal. This is a very nude for me. However, I've been really enjoying it over this last month, kind of mixing it in or layering it on top of other lip products. I have used it 15 times since the last update. That brings my total usage up to 19 uses out of 30 in this project. The next one here I rolled in last month. This is the Huda Matte and Metal Double-Ended Liquid Eyeshadow. So there's a matte side here, and then there's this shimmer side here. I have each side rolled in as a different product, and they're each rolled in for 30 uses. I have used the matte side 12 times, and I have used the metal side 7 times. I've been doing a lot of all matte looks recently. I've been really kind of loving that look, so I haven't been reaching for the shimmer very much. However, I still think it's doable. This matte side makes a really nice base for other eyeshadows, and I'm gonna do my best to work a little bit more shimmer into my eye looks over the next couple of months, and hopefully we'll be able to meet our goal. Speaking of shimmer, I have this Give Me Glow. This is a highlighter. It's in Pink Moscato Wasted, but I have been using it as a metallic eyeshadow. I especially like it on the inner corners. That's how I've been using it mostly. However, because of the aforementioned matte looks that I have been rocking lately, I have only used this 8 times. If you're wondering why I keep on looking over there, it's because I got my book over here and I'm reading off of it. So I have only used this 8 out of 30 times. I rolled it in last month. I don't know. You guys, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to work this in to my eyeshadow looks over the next couple of months. And I guess we'll just see how far we get. Next is my NARS Under Eye Powder. I don't know why I rolled this in, you guys. It was kind of dumb. I rolled it in because I thought, oh, I haven't used that for a while. And not stopping to think, Rebecca, are you using any powder under your eyes lately? No, it is winter. I have oily skin and oily under eyes during the summer. During the winter, my under eyes is one part of my face that actually kind of gets a little dry. And so I have not wanted to reach for an under eye powder. I don't know if I'm going to meet my goal, you guys. I rolled this in for 30 uses. I have only used it 5 times. And each one of those 5 times, I didn't feel like I needed the powder. To its credit, it didn't make me look worse, but I wasn't using it because I wanted to use it or because I thought that it contributed to my overall look at all. I was kind of just using it to use it, which again is something that I'm trying to avoid here. I don't know, you guys. I don't think this is one that I'm going to end up finishing. I'm probably just going to set it aside and not even work on it from here on out. Here's one that should be rolling out, but I didn't quite make it. This is my NYX black eyeliner. This is something that I rolled in last month, and I have used it 14 times since then, and I could have rolled it out today. I think I only have 1 use worth of product left in this pencil, and if I had remembered to use it Actually, I guess I could use it right now. I'm going to use it a last use here on screen with you guys. I really like using a black liner on the waterline, especially when I'm using these little lash clusters. Oh, my eyes are watering a little because we have hit plastic. This one is done after 15 uses in this project. I have 2 more products to report on. First is the Innisfree Volcanic BHA Pore Cleansing Foam. I justified rolling this into the 50 Shades of Black project pan because it has volcanic ash in it. That was my very tenuous link. I've used this 12 times since my last update, and gosh, a little bit of this goes a long way. So I'm going to keep using this over the next couple of months. There's another cleanser I'm also using. I'm going to try to only use this one, and we might be able to get it done. We might. Honestly, I don't know. It will be a surprise for all of us. Last, I have my Morphe brow pencil. I have only used this 4 times. I've been really focusing on those brow pens, although the way they keep going, maybe I should have been focusing on this one the whole time because this is a pretty new product. Yeah, I don't know. Guys, that's a lot of brow pencil. I don't know how likely I am to get that done by the time the project is up, but I guess we'll see. Okay guys, now we're going to have to roll in quite a few more products in order to bring this up to 50. First, I'm rolling in another cleanser. This is my Honest Beauty Magic Gel to Milk Makeup Melting Cleanser. I'm justifying this because the logo is black and that's good enough for me. This is the first step in a double cleanse and I use it mostly in the shower, so it has been going pretty slowly, but the cap's broken. So she needs to go. I'm going to try to prioritize this over the vanilla cleansing balm that I have been using, and I should be able to get this one done by the end of the project. I'm rolling another Black Honey product in here. I have the Clinique Almost Lipstick in Black Honey, and there's honestly only a little bit of product left in here. This is kind of a gimme, but honestly, I need some gimmies. This is a really pretty, let's use it right now. First use. I've been really loving using this on like a nude lip to add a little bit of pink right in the center here, giving it just a tiny bit of an ombre. I'm going to go ahead and finish this one up. Again, there's not a lot of product left, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Another one that doesn't have a ton left is my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This is the original formula. This is a travel size that I brought with me to travel to some work conferences, and it's the sort of setting spray that I'm only really going to use on special occasions or work events. But while I was doing my declutter of my setting sprays, I realized there's only a few uses left in this, and the next time I travel on a work trip, there's not enough to last me an entire trip. So I would want to buy a new one of these anyway, so I think I should probably just finish this off and get it out of my collection. I'm also going to be rolling in a Pat McGrath Mothership palette. I've been wanting to reach for this lately. This is Mothership 10 Moonlit Seduction, probably the best Mothership in my opinion. I just love this color story. I'm going to be doing this No Pan Left Behind ×2 given the other eyeshadows I have in this project. I think that's doable, but I will have to focus a bit. Next, I'm rolling in 2 blush products, which sounds crazy, I know, but I couldn't decide. These are my Essence Pure Nude Baked Blushes. I was reminded in my blush declutter, which I think recently went up, I was reminded how nice they are, and I haven't reached for them for a while, but I also couldn't decide which one I wanted more. So I'm gonna roll both of them in for 10 uses a piece. I have a couple of blushes in other projects that I'm also working on, but I think I could do it. I think I can do it. The rest of these are all stick products. I have been using eyeshadow sticks recently, you guys. I think it's because I've been using my scribble sticks, and it kind of makes sense. This is one from Laura Mercier. This is in Intense Moonlight. It is such a shiny, reflective inner corner highlight. And then I have this one from Kiko that is also metallic, but is a bit darker. It's a beautiful taupe. And I'm gonna be rolling both of these in for, we've got a lot of eye products going on right now. And I also have palettes in Deck of Panning and Throwback 30. So let's go for 15 uses each. I think that's a reasonable amount of uses for the remaining time we have in this project. Then we're rolling in another lip liner. I know I already have 2 lip liners in this project, but I feel like I'm very close to finishing those. I might be deluding myself with the Makeup by Mario, but I'm half done with my uses on NYX Moonwalk, and I have really been enjoying using this lately. This is my Give Me Glow Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Wicked. It is this beautiful, cool shade. It's right there. This is a roll-up, but I kind of had a Space Cadet moment and tried to sharpen it. That's why it looks so crazy. But it is a gorgeous lip liner. Such a pretty muted purple. I just love this thing. I'm going to be optimistic or delusional, either one. I'm going to roll this in for 15 uses over the next 2 months, which it will have to share with the 2 other lip liners I have rolled in here. I don't know, guys. Might be delusional, but we're just going to see. We're going to see how it goes. If I have done my math right, which honestly is suspect, that should bring me up to 50 products in this project. So given what you've seen today, how likely do you think I am to make it to 68% completion? I will be taking bets. How delulu am I? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for spending this time with me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.